The Concorde was an engineering marvel born out of the collaboration between the British Aircraft Corporation, now known as BAE Systems, and the French Aerospatiale, now known as Airbus. It was primarily known for its supersonic speeds, which could take you from New York to London in 3 hours and 15 minutes at Mach 2 velocity. Welcome to Gimme Facts. We're taking a look at the top 5 things you did not know about the Concorde. With a total of 20 aircraft, 6 for development and 14 for commercial service, there's quite a bit of history to this masterpiece. If you thought the Concorde was exclusively a passenger plane, think again. With the supersonic flight speed, it was used to carry cargo for which its engineers may not even have thought of as an intended purpose. For instance, once antivenom was shipped from France to Africa to save a snakebite victim who only had a couple of hours to live. Due to its speed capabilities, the victim managed to survive. Adding to this, British Airways used its planes even to transport live human organs for transplant. In the mid-1990s, Pepsi decided in order to boost their brand, they would collaborate with Air France to paint an entire Concorde blue in color. They spent about $500 million on this campaign named Project Blue. Although Aerospatiale engineers insisted they keep the wings to a lighter color and limit the speed to 1.7 Mach. The reason being lighter colors retain less heat and thus making less impact on the coefficient of thermal expansion. You might ask then why partiality to the wings, because this is where the fuel is stored, and given their volatile nature, wings are at a greater risk. Even with the original lighter colors for Concorde, its components expanded as much as 10 inches during supersonic flight. Each unit cost around $28 million back in 1969, which equates to about $175 million today, considering inflation and other factors. This is 16% more than a modern-day Lockheed Martin F-22 Raptor. Back in 2003, maintenance costs were projected to be $62 million, in excess of airline projections. A typical example of such a cost would be retrofitting parts adhering to the updated rules and regulations set by the Federal Aviation Administration and the Civil Aviation Authority. For newer models, this is not much of a problem, but for an aircraft as old as a Concorde, it is just not feasible. Here's a fun fact. Concorde used roughly 100 tons of fuel for its journey from New York to London, and 2 tons out of the 100 is used just to taxi to the runway. Put that in perspective, a modern Boeing 777 uses 44 tons for the same trip. The Tupolev TU-144, also known as Concordski, was the Soviet Union's answer to the Concorde. Its maiden flight was actually 3 months prior to Concorde, but that is pretty much where the good news ends for the TU-144. As a passenger aircraft, it was notorious for its unreliability, airframe structural failures, uncomfortability, and inefficiency. Due to these reasons and its crash in the 1973 Paris Air Show, killing 14 people, it had limited routes and short-lived service. Leave down in the comments below if you know of a Concorde fact that we missed out. Subscribe to the channel if you wish to see similar content in the future, and hit the like button if you found this video interesting. See you in another video.